Hi guys, we're going to be doing a free-to-play RuneScape quest tier list thing with these lovely guys to my right, left,
Hello.
right. First, Jaxyys, introduce yourself.
Yep. My name's Jaxyys, also known as Jaxyys_TV. YouTuber and Twitch streamer. I have the story mode series on YouTube, and I'm here now for some reason, and that's Kathaar.
Oh, I don't get to introduce myself. I see.
No, go ahead.
As the illustrious Jaxyys has already done for me. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Kathaar, and welcome to Eddie's brilliant idea to sort all the free-to-play quests by how bad they are.
How good they are.
I'm known for the Desert Only series, but I'm also known for the Chronologue series, where I play every quest in chronological order, so I should probably know what I'm doing here, but we'll see.
Fantastic.
The pressure's on.
So we're going to start right back at the beginning. These guys, I believe, already know what this one is, and you'll see these fantastic paint drawings for every single quest.
You're so good.
These guys have already guessed it, and we are starting with
Thanks.
Shield of Arav.
Yep.
What are our thoughts?
Because it's got a phoenix and a black arm.
Yeah. And Reldo down there as well was the...
Hello.
Oh, no, Reldo.
You mean Karos?
Oh, shh.
Not
Spoilers.
at this point. Not at this point. Not in 2001, you know.
I mean, yeah, Reldo. Yes, the librarian in Varric. Sorry, yes. I just said. Oof.
So,
Stroke for a second.
let's see. So this quest has changed a lot, right?
It has.
It used to be co-op. Now it's not. It's a lot different. I mean, I played it recently, and it's so different. I actually got lost trying to do it because I was too busy thinking about how it worked in 2001. And I don't know. I'd say this quest is. I would put it at personally. I would put it at a D. And the only reason I'm not gonna. I would put it at a D if it wasn't for the fact that it leads into some other great Arav and Varrock quests later on down the line that tie into it and kind of give it more value. So, well, that and how the shield breaks is hilarious. So I'd say C. Just because
I think the thing is, it is a very simple quest to start with. There's not a huge amount to it. I guess it's quite nice in that you have the choice between the two gangs. It's something that you don't have a huge amount of in the quests in terms of like different paths you can take to solve it.
Yeah.
But
what about
I mean, if you're doing it yourself, if you're doing it by yourself, you still need to go to both gangs anyway. But I mean, again, you have a choice of whether, like, which game to go to first. I don't know. I feel like not only with this quest, but a lot of the free-to-play quests are going to be simple and based on nostalgia. So we need to be careful whether we're like, oh, this quest is so simple, let's put it in C, because all of them are going to be simple. I would say put this one a little bit higher because it actually has significant lore implications. Because like you said, Kathaar, it does lead into some really big quests like Defender of Varric, and this comes up again in Dimension of Disaster and Arav and books and things. I don't know. It's a simple quest. It's an old quest, but they've done things with it later.
It lays the foundations for a lot to come.
Yeah.
Let's start it as a B.
I can agree
it's
with
the
that.
very first one, so it's a benchmark, and we can always move stuff around
right
in
the
future
middle.
as well.
Yeah.
So
Right in the middle.
hopefully,
B.
oh, it shows properly as well. Perfect.
Tiny.
It's tiny. It's tiny there, so you might not tell what it is. But okay.
Every quest from now on is like, okay, is it better or worse than Shield of Arav?
So
But anyway, yeah.
this
What
one,
is that Restless Ghost?
got it in one.
Nice. Because there's a little lumberj.
There's a little umbrage symbol. These are meant to be the mining
the
rocks.
ghost laying in the bed who obviously can't go to sleep.
This is the ghost speak amulet, I think.
Okay, yes, it is. And that's the only reason I'm not putting it in D is because it has the ghost speak amulet. So I want to put it in C. But everything about it is just, it's funny. It is ridiculous. But it's
funny. The best part about that quest is Father Eric or is it Father Eric who's out in the swamp, or is that Father Eric who runs the church? It's just him being so absolutely sick of the other guy's incompetence. He's like, he sent you here to have me deal with a ghost. He couldn't figure out how to deal with a ghost. Oh my god! Here, get out of my face. Take the amulet. Go away. I don't want it back. Just leave. Like, I love him. I love him. So yeah, C is a solid spot for it just because of that.
It's got its humor, but it doesn't have a huge amount of other implications, which Shield of Wrath does. So.
Sure.
Yeah, I think this quest is technically taken a step down because at least before you would go to the Wizard's Tower to get the skull because they stole it for like some altar or something like that. They stole his skull. So you go to the Wizard's Tower and you go into the basement. And the skull's on the table, and then you grab the skull, and a skeleton pops up to fight you like it does now. But
don't have to fight it though. You just leg it. It's done.
Yeah, you just leg it, and you can do that in this one too. You just leave. But I think what they did now, obviously for new players, it's a step up because it's like, okay, it's just a simple quest. Everything for this quest is right here in Lumbridge. You don't have to go very far. But it's like, why is there a skull buried in the rock? What happened? Like, why did they take a skull and just put it like 15 feet away from his grave?
Okay, solid C.
Personal opinion.
On to the next one.
Solid C.
Is this Demon Slayer?
Yeah!
Because it's Silverlight.
It's Silverlight.
I like this quest. I like this quest because there's that one cutscene where you walk up to the stone and you pull out Silverlight and you look at it and it's all dramatic. And I wish we had more moments like that where it's just cool. It actually makes you feel like a hero because you get to destroy this demon that's going to destroy Varric. I don't know. I do like this quest. Put it in,
and it's like the first thing that teaches you any level of boss mechanics.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
True.
Like, boss is doing the big bad attack, go hide in the shield. Go
in
hide
the
under the
shield
priest's
zone
shield.
thing. Yeah.
I like that.
And so like it's a bonus. Again, I like to compare all these to their original versions. This one I feel like it's an improvement in other regards. The only thing that kind of sucks is that it takes itself a little more seriously. While the original was this totally goofy, you have this demon slaying sword, this absolute relic, Silverlight, and they completely screwed it up. Like everybody, no one knows where it is. They're like, oh, well, so we have it in this box, and there's these 3 keys, and we've all lost our keys. One dude accidentally washed his key down the drain.
Of course.
Like, they are just totally incompetent. It's hilarious. It fits right into RuneScape humor, and the remake loses that a little bit, but I'd still say it's a solid B quest personally, maybe even A.
Solid B.
Definitely.
I was gonna say either.
Yeah, A or B. It's definitely on a par with Shield of Wrath for me because of and you've even got like the little paths you have to go down that I can't remember quite how tricky the puzzles are, but it's still like a little. It's a little bit of fun. It's like it's a bit better than just walking in, picking up a crossbow, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. I would say compared to maybe Shield of Wrath, I'd maybe put it in A because Shield of Wrath is straight puzzle. Whereas Demon Slayer is puzzle plus combat, as you said, Kathaar, boss mechanics. So since it kind of grabs a little bit of story, a little bit of puzzle, a little bit of boss mechanic, like everything in a nice balanced quest, maybe A.
Well, this is another thing that kind of bugs me about Shield of Wrath and where it's at in B, because it's not even puzzle, it's running around talking to everybody simulator.
Yeah, it's a fetch quest.
It bugs the hell out of me, but I think it's still okay in B for now. We'll see.
Sure.
Okay.
But yeah, this Demon Slayer solid.
Our first A tier. Fantastic.
Yay. Coke's assistant.
Oh, S tier automatically. You can't. No one will take this video seriously if we don't put Cook's chef's assistant in S tier.
Yep, Eddie, put it in D. Put it in D.
Put it in
Absolutely.
D.
Way down.
Wait, what about the implications of Recipe for Disaster and Chef's Assistant?
Oh, I miss Chef's Assistant.
So
okay.
I mean, at
Let's
least
talk about this quest.
Okay, it teaches you about cooking.
Kind of.
However, no one ever cooks anything with more than like one ingredient anymore. It's all fish.
Yeah.
So
who makes cakes? Nobody.
Okay, look. If this was old school, D tier. Garbage quest. Why can't? What do you mean? What do you mean the cook doesn't have eggs, flour, and milk in his kitchen? Are you serious? But in RS3, I can understand that he doesn't have the extra large egg, the prized cow milk, and the superfine flour. Like, okay, fine. Like, all right, it's a little more picky. That sounds like a solid cake for the Duke. C tier. C.
C tier.
I'll give it a C. It might go down to D later, actually, but C.
I may agree with that.
Okay, let's go.
My main complaint with his quest is that we don't get invited to the Duke's table for this birthday. Not in this quest, at least.
I mean,
How dare you?
Does the Duke know us at this point?
Yeah, we're the World Guardian eventually.
Yeah, not at this
Shouldn't
point,
he
though.
know that? Okay, fine. Yeah, put it in C.
Let's go C for now, with potential to move things around.
All right. Is this
Ernest the chicken?
Yeah! These are doing the job. You guys are getting them straight away.
Yeah, these are working for me.
Are we just smart?
Shield was the only one I didn't know how to do.
That one was a little tricky. Okay, Ernest the chicken. Oh boy. I have to remember how that. I just did it for story mode, and I still can't remember what happens.
Is that an indicator that
not a very memorable quest? I have to admit.
Do you have to do anything apart from changing back?
Yeah, no. All you have to do is change it back. You just have to go get the parts to do so. You gotta poison the piranhas in the fountain so you can get a part. You gotta go down and do the door puzzle, the colored door puzzles, which is a lot easier now than it used to.
Actually, yeah.
Puzzle.
I would put it I wouldn't put it worse than Cook's Assistant. So that means it has to go in a C for me.
That's fair.
All the more reason why Cook's Assistant might end up in D tier by the end of this. But yeah,
C is maybe like a C minus. C minus.
Yeah,
it's at the end at the moment, so this is like the best of the tier.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say C. That's a good place for it. Mediocre quest. It passes. It didn't fail the test, but it got through just barely.
Yeah, exactly.
Should have studied
Next
more.
quest. Is this Vampire Slayer? That's funny.
Yep.
Eddie.
Dude, I almost died. I almost died on Chronolog trying to do this quest.
Hey,
really?
I've died.
Yeah. I had to go
multiple
gear up.
times. I a few months ago started doing a free-to-play quest speedrun, and I managed to die 3 times doing Vampire Slayer because I forgot to go and re-get a steak. I didn't have any food at this point because I'd literally just started the game and hadn't got anything. And the vampire actually hurts at level 5, so
dude,
I just underestimated it.
He's such a good boy, and for funsies, or at least I think. You did it 3 times. Do the candles still hurt if you stand on them?
I didn't walk on the candles, so I don't know.
I don't think so.
So, for whatever reason, in old school, if you stand on the candles, they just tick you for like 1. Or actually, I don't even think they do damage. But your character goes like and he starts making he starts burning his feet.
How's that go
he starts
again?
making a fuss. Look, if you're gonna have me voice act, you're gonna have to pay me. Anyway. So I don't know if they still do that in the remake. I think I actively remember avoiding the candles just so I wouldn't get hurt because I thought it was a thing. But yeah, this quest is tough. I'd actually put it on B. It's a solid quest.
B?
Going and meeting the vampire hunter who's drunk off his ass in Varrock.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's fun.
Yeah, you buy him a beer, and it's so funny because he's just, I remember this, he's just like super drunk. Yeah, Dr. Harlow. He's super drunk, and then he immediately sobers up to tell you exactly what you're supposed to do. It just goes right back to being drunk again. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but I'd say B. I'd put it right up there with Shield of Varrock. It's a solid B tier quest, at least. With room for growth.
That's true. I can agree to that.
Yeah. All right. Oh, hang on. What's this?
Oh my god, Imp Catcher.
So obviously we'll discuss both the original and the new updated version.
So the updated version is good because it is voice acted.
Yes.
And
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. I had to do all the voices for those fucking imps. No, it's not. I hated it. My Cockney accent's awful.
I'm sure someone was voice acted in that quest.
The wizard is, because the entire wizard's tower is voice acted, so he has lines.
Yes,
that's
there
it.
is voice acting somewhere in the quest, not the whole quest. My mistake.
Yeah, Wizard Greyzag.
He's great.
And beads. That guy, wizard, whatever his name is. But they made him into a stuttering idiot. I don't know why. He has an incredibly bad stutter, and I don't know why this was the design choice for his character when they decided to give him voice lines. But it's not the best. But a lot of voice acting from that time period in RuneScape is not good. Sandview being the prime example of the worst voice acting I've ever heard in my life. But anyway, that's
anyway, about the quest itself.
No higher than C. Purely on that. Actually, no. You know what? I take it back. I love the fact that your character starts really getting irritated because every imp ends up vomiting on your feet.
Accurate.
So I don't know. It's kind of funny. They managed to put more humor into this quest versus just going to the Grand Exchange, buying all 4 imp beads, and starting and finishing the quest right there without even moving, which is how it used to be. Unless you were an Iron Man. But yeah. Okay, so
I mean,
it's more of a fetch quest, definitely. Like, there's not a whole lot of story to it. However, isn't this quest required for something else? Well, it's not. Imp Catcher itself isn't like mind blowing, but it does introduce Wizard Greyzag, who becomes a prominent character in later quests. So I wouldn't say this quest is necessary, but at least like Greyzag as a character is there, so I wouldn't put it in D, probably maybe C.
And I guess it takes you to the main 4 like rune crafting altars as well, right? Because all the imps are found next to them, so it's sort of sets that skill up a little bit.
It teaches you locations, because I mean, Rune Mysteries definitely didn't teach you where any of those were, old or new. They didn't teach you jack shit about the rune altars. Barely explained rune crafting. It's just. Yeah, we can make runes now. I'm not going to tell you how, though. Good luck. So, yeah. Mid
struggle.
Mid C tier.
Yeah, it's going to be in here
C-.
somewhere. Let's go there.
Yeah, that seems like a good spot for it.
Yeah.
I've just seen the thumbnail for this one. I can't.
The Night Sword?
Yes!
Oh.
The Blue Moon in...
No.
Is that why there's a moon?
No, night.
Then it's
you suck.
This one does have Blue-Rite in it, though, and it does introduce us to the Incando
This might actually be the first quest I put in S tier, and the reason I'm considering S tier is a bit of a meta thing. This is the go-to quest when you start a new account. Go get the massive chunk of mining and smithing experience that this quest just throws at you. B, you can duplicate a copy of the sword and keep it forever. And it's kind of cool, having the Night Sword itself. And then, of course, there is introducing yourself to the Incando Dwarves and the lore prospects of the game. This is also probably like the first quest you would do as a new player that you might just die doing. Because of the ice cave trying to get the Blue-Rite, you could just get clapped by an ice giant.
They are scary.
Oh yeah, you had to just like run in, and I remember like you would like hop worlds, like try to find somebody who's like doing them for a Slayer task or something. And it's like, okay, hey, cover me while I run in and try to get this ore real quick.
I guess it's kind of like Waterfall Quest in a way as well, because you have to run into that bit with the hill giants.
Yeah, like if we were doing those quests, I'd put Waterfall up there too for similar reasons. But now I would say this is either a high A or a low S.
Let's go S for now.
I don't know if I would put it above Demon Slayer though, because it does many things. It introduces you to Falador, but there's no combat. And there's no like big boss at the end. You just kind of go in, you make a sword, you come back. It is a glorified fetch quest, in my opinion.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. I guess I'm thinking very heavily for the meta standpoint and just how important this quest is for like account building and stuff like that. Like every Iron Man, this is one of the first quests you do because it's just an instant 30 smithing or something like that.
Sure.
Or was it mining? One of the two.
But from a story standpoint, it's not terribly mind blowing, except for the dwarves. That's your first little taste. I'd say.
And I'm pretty sure this quest is required for anything else that involves what's his name?
Oh no.
It starts with a TH, right? No.
Is it Thurman? No. Yes, it is. It starts with a TH. We're
It does start
very
with
good
a
lore hounds.
I literally have part of that scene that everyone is seeing open, so I literally can't open another window or it screws it up.
I can't, and I don't want to look it up. I refuse. She's on it. But,
Thurmundo.
No, Thurgo.
Thurgo.
There we go.
No, Thormund is the guy in the Warforge.
That's
Yeah.
right. I was thinking Thurman's Forge, and I was like,
yeah.
Okay, Thurgo.
Okay. So yeah, no, I guess that's a good place for it.
Edit that part out. Yeah. Edit all this part out. Ah, yes, the dwarf Thurgo. We know who he is.
Yeah, of course we know who he is.
Definitely.
I drinks with him every weekend.
On to the next one.
Next quest.
Oh god.
Oh, this is goblin diplomacy. That's funny. It's because they're voting.
They're voting and they're wearing the red
democracy.
and the green. There you go.
The only saving grace of this quest is the crafting experience and 5 whole quest points to put up with these 2 idiots. D tier, solid.
Nah, I don't think it's D. It's
you're gonna have to have some good reason.
Like, you know, the fact that they just end up going back to what they originally had. It's like so pointless.
If this quest is C tier, then Cook's assistant cannot stay there.
Okay.
There's no way.
How about that?
Okay, fine.
There we go.
Oh, they both go to D.
They're both going in there.
We're gonna get lynched by somebody who just loves Cook's assistant, by the way. Like, how dare you? Listen,
I mean, it's probably the thumbnail I spent the least amount of time on as well.
That is the most iconic quest in the game. You insult my entire family by saying this quest is bad. I am gonna write a strongly worded letter to Jagex and get your quest capes revoked. All right. Anyways.
Pirate's Treasure.
Yeah, look at that.
Pirate's Treasure. Yeah.
Okay. So this one is decent because it introduces you to Karamja. It's the only quest that goes to Karamja.
For free to play, I think.
Again, no big story, reveals, no lore implications, but it's a good way to introduce Karamja.
And the whole concept of boat travel and stuff like that.
That's true.
Yeah. Also, you can shove the banana in the rum bottle, and Jaxyys and I, we both made a joke about that in our respective videos. So it's obvious diamond in the rough. Like, actually, is that item used for another quest? Is that why you can do that?
Banana in the I don't know.
I don't think so. Yeah. I don't remember ever using it.
It might actually be, but it just cracks me up that you could do it. You could just do that and completely ruin the bottle, and you have to go buy another one. And if you were doing this quest in 2004 or something, you had your cash on you, and so if you only had just enough gold to go do that, you now had to fish, or you now had to go fill crates to get the 30 gold that you needed to get back to Karamja, or off of Karamja. You had to do it all over again. Like, it was like, if you screwed up bad enough, that was a hard reset on that quest.
Nice.
But yeah,
that's actually pretty clever.
B or C, maybe?
I'm feeling B, just compared to the rest that we've got there. I think it's probably above Restless Ghost for me.
It's not a high bar, really, is it?
No, I mean,
I would put it high C. We're putting a lot of them in C, though.
I feel like that'll change a lot, but there's also 50 some odd quests. So.
There's 40 quests, I believe, exactly for free to play. Let's go there for now.
This will be like a C++. Like an almost B, but it just needs a little bit more.
Yeah. Dragon Slayer. Oh, dude. Pure nostalgia alone, this is an S tier quest.
I kind of think it. Oh.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing. If you don't have the nostalgia, the quest isn't that great.
But, okay, but even if you don't have the nostalgia, I still think the quest is pretty solid, ignoring the really sad scene on the boat. The really
guy just gets destroyed.
Scene of the dragon flying through these really thick clouds.
Fair. True.
That's the only drawback to this quest. But in comparison to what we have on the list, in comparison to Demon Slayer and Knight's Sword, this is totally a cut above. Melzar's Maze is awesome.
That's true.
Melzar himself is awesome. going and fighting the dragon, and if you're smart, opening up that shortcut on Karamja so that you can get back.
There is actually a lot to that quest, isn't there?
There's a lot to it. Like compared to everything else we've covered, there's so much extra. Like this is their first like proper quest,
like
I guess.
Solid
really,
quest with like a beginning, middle, and end to it. Like it's a solid quest, and of course,
now,
go ahead.
The rune plate, of course. Well, the quest used to be required to get rune plate. A little bit of gusto is, in fact, lost. But you know what? I'll agree. It's a pretty solid quest. We can put it.
Yeah. And if we're taking like a mix here of like how it acts in old school and how it acts in RS3, then I think it definitely sits at S tier because, I mean, you saw the dudes at full rune with the Addy plate body, and you knew they hadn't done the quest yet. Saw the guy rocking the rune plate body. You knew that dude was a champ.
Giga Chad right there.
Oh yeah, being a Chad. Also, this usually meant you now had access to the Champions Guild. Usually, unless for whatever reason this was like the first quest you went to go do, like after getting all the other requirements. Actually, no,
you still need the
quest requirements
points.
on this quest. Yeah, they set it up. You needed like pretty much every other quest to do this one. And then you had access to the Champions Guild, and you had beaten free to play essentially at that point.
I mean, if you're playing through chronologically now, because they changed some of what used to be quests into mini quests, you actually can't have enough quest points if you're doing it like actually in order.
Yeah,
by the time you get to Dragon Slayer.
Yeah.
Anyway, our first S tier, and next.
Witch's House?
Yeah.
Is that Witch's House?
That's Witch's House.
This one.
This
one
quest
is
stupid.
interesting. This
totally
is, I will agree.
I'm sorry.
It's interesting. I do remember this quest giving me a whole lot of trouble when I first started out in RuneScape because I kept dying to the boss at the end. Like you keep dying in Vampire Slayer. This one will kill you if you're not prepared.
Yep.
And I kind of like the puzzle a little bit.
What's interesting is this quest kind of... Okay, so it's a members quest in old school. It was a members quest for a very long time. It was probably like the first members quest you would do. When you become a member, and what's the first thing most free to players did? Ran to Taverley. They want to get through that gate, right? Because it's like usually the first hard roadblock you run into as a free to play is like you can't access this area, and so they go run over there, and that house was right inside the gate. I mean, Taverley's changed a little bit, and the house has been moved down, but it was right on the other side of that gate originally, and it was like the first quest you did. And I think it'll take you straight to like 33 Constitution or something like that.
It's a lot of XP, yeah.
It's a ton. Yeah. So those are pluses. The minuses, however, are the fact that all you do is you just break into this lady's house, you walk through the garden in this like fake Metal Gear Solid stealth thing that's really just run in a straight line, and then you fight the boss, you grab the ball, and you leave. You're done. It's like a 5-minute quest.
You feed a mouse,
assuming you don't drop the ball.
It's the kiddie menu version of Broken Home, essentially what it is.
You have to wear gloves when you feed the mouse or do the gate because of the electricity. Right?
Oh yeah.
A different quest. Is that Witch's House?
I'm pretty sure that's Witch's House because it's the only.
You have.
Because you have to go back to her house in Grim Tales.
I think it's switched.
The necklace.
What you still?
So you shrink.
No, because you do need to give something to the rat before you leave, because it like unlocks the door. I think.
I thought you find the key in the plant pot. I might be mixing it. I might be mixing it up because I actually haven't done this quest since it got moved to free to play. I haven't done this quest in RS3. I did this quest in RS2.
Oh, really?
And I haven't done it on Chronolocked yet. So if it's been changed, I wouldn't be aware.
That could also be a testament to how well, or lack thereof, it's held up over the years. If we're getting it confused with a whole nother quest, it's not that memorable.
So
maybe
B? Maybe B? Because I mean, what it gives the player is still just a
using a
buff.
similar kind of thing to Knight's Sword in that it does have a really nice
similar
reward.
concept to like you got to consider just how useful the quest is.
It's probably the first phased boss fight you'll ever fight as well.
That's a good point.
True.
That's a good point.
Hey,
I don't know if I would put it on par with Vampire Slayer and Shield of Arav, though. I don't know if, in good conscience, I could put it on
High
par with
C,
those two quests.
High C, maybe somewhere in between Restless Ghost and Pirate's Treasure.
I could go with that.
Yeah.
Because again, it has a few good things, like the boss fight and, you know, however much you like puzzles, and you do come back to it, but it's just not spectacular. Is this
Ritual?
Yeah.
D tier for Sanfew alone.
Whoa!
No, they ruined this quest. They ruined it.
Cake mix sounds great.
Wait. Hold on.
Sanfew terrible, but cake mix sounds great.
Cake mix is great. Sanfew can go take a long walk off a short pier. I hate that man. But okay.
Freaking aggressive, dang.
I've got problem with that man. All right, I don't like him.
This is a
I don't like him. I don't like his voice.
How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel terrible.
I'm sensing a lot of underlying frustration.
What are the good things about the quest?
It gets you in Taverly. Herblore. It starts doing Herblore. A little bit, because you have to start. You have to talk to Cake Mix, and it gets you started on kind of the lore with Guthix too. Like he's the first guy you talk to for that quest, and you can ask him, "What's the druid thing about?" And he's like, "Well, you see, there's this guy named Guthix, and that will provide a lot of context for future quests." I don't remember if this is required for anything. It might be.
It's not. It's not. What's weird about it though, it's funny that you bring up the Guthix thing, because the quest is kind of fresh in my memory because I just did it a few months ago. But the whole ritual makes no sense anymore now that we know so much more about how the gods work. It's really fallen out of canon. Because they're setting up this ritual of balance to ask Guthix to bless the Birth Orb in the battle against the trolls, right? To bring balance. There's too much chaos. Essentially, trolls are doing too good. We want Guthix to step in and balance it out. Now, what part of that sentence does any of that sound like something Guthix would do? Like, no, he would not step in. He would not bless anybody. He should be unconscious right now. Like,
to be fair, they haven't heard from Guthix in a while, and thus, you know, you could argue that a lot of the druids' rituals, not to, you know, reiterate the quest name, but a lot of the rituals have kind of fallen into more tradition than actual reason. But they may think that Guthix is still around.
Well, okay, so the quest takes place in the 5th Age, so Guthix is still around.
Sure.
But he doesn't work like that. He makes it vehemently clear that he doesn't work like that, and he doesn't want to interact with anybody at all. But what's weird is that the quest seems to imply that the ritual worked and that they got Guthix's blessing, which just doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, you could maybe sign it that they've smoked a little too much Marintil, and that it worked, but it had nothing to do with Guthix. It was just, the magical properties of the potion and pouring it on the altar. You could argue that maybe. The only saving graces to this quest, aside from the fact you don't need it for Herblore anymore. It's not locked. It does give you your first 3 levels though. Mm-hmm. The fishing animation for the stonefish is really cool. I really like it. I like that. I like what they changed the objectives to. It blows that you no longer have to go into Taverly Dungeon and interact with that cauldron, and the cauldron just doesn't serve a purpose anymore. Same with the animated suits of armor. They're just there. They don't actually do anything anymore, so they're just a relic. Any new player coming through would have no idea what their purpose is, because they're never used for anything. But I would say C or B, honestly. I would have put this way higher if it wasn't for Sanfew's awful voice acting and what seems to just now be like an old interpretation of Guthix that hasn't been updated with a modern canon. The quest just kind of needs a once-over, really.
Restless Ghost.
Yeah, that seems like... Yeah.
I feel like needs a downgrade, to be...
I think it might.
To be honest. Looking at what else we've put in there. It's time.
Our standards are too high for you.
Yes, exactly.
I knew this was going to happen. Our standards were going to start to... Gertrude's cat!
Okay.
Oh, that's at least a B, but probably an A.
It's up here. Do I need to explain that? I guess the question is, how high do we go, right?
How high do we go with this? I mean, it will sit right in everybody's heart because you do, in fact, get your first pet, and it teaches you that you can, in fact, have pets, and you need to walk them around and feed them so that they grow, which, to be fair, has kind of been lost with new RuneScape because now it's all cosmetic pets. But like back in the day, that was a big deal.
You had to feed them. And you get your first cat, and you take this, assuming you don't sell the cat for death runes or accidentally lose it. You take this cat on so many other adventures later on where the cat is part of the plot.
Yeah.
Like, most of the desert quests usually involve your cat.
True. Clarence Little
it's
Helper.
great.
This is a requirement for a lot of quests.
Oh, yeah, it's a hard requirement.
It unlocks a huge amount of stuff.
I had to do this quest on my desert-only account just because of how much shit was locked behind having a cat. So it was like, okay, I've got to do this, I guess.
Now,
but, I guess it's a staple quest.
A or S is the question, I think.
Not S.
Not S.
I don't know if I'd put it on S, but A is solid.
Okay.
I think it would be on par with Night Sword. If we're putting Night Sword in A, Gertrude's cat should be there too.
Yeah, it's definitely right there with those two other quests that we put in A.
Oh, this is Rune Mysteries, or is this Rune Memories?
Mysteries. He's going in
Mysteries. Okay, fair enough. Rune Mysteries. These Rune Mysteries and Rune Memories are good quests, I think, because
I enjoyed them.
Voice acting. Yes, they were very good because it was also one of the first big. I hesitate to say quest series, but it was like it had a first one, and then it had a sequel, and they go hand in hand.
It was Ariane's double bill. They released both of these quests at the same time, and then just locked one behind membership.
That's fair.
I don't know if they're still that way. I think they might have.
I think it is, yeah, because I didn't come across it when doing these fantastic illustrations.
I do like this quest. It's solid. It gives so much more to the Wizard's Tower. It gives so much more. You cannot, hands down, say that Old School has better fucking Wizard's Tower lore than RS3. Because it doesn't. They have the same lore, except for only one game actually elaborates on it.
I want to put this in S tier. Personally,
I actually agree. I would, if this thing, it totally competes with Dragon Slayer for different reasons, but it totally competes with Dragon Slayer.
It's a good updated quest. They really did well with it. It introduced a new signature hero. That's the word, Ariane, and she's in like as an actress quest, and she's doing things in the current.
She's the only signature hero that's still relevant. So
And it's
Rip Sir Owen, a moment of silence.
Although
for our man.
They're trying with Owen. They're really trying to just rip him out, kicking and screaming from irrelevance.
Yeah,
I guess
Ozan was dropped at the bottom of the pool, and Raptor is God knows where.
Yeah,
Raptor's just gone.
He's relegated to like a Slayer Master kind of now with that whole Raptor chest, even though he's not even there for it. But
I guess another good thing with it is as soon as you walk into the Wizard's Tower, you don't even make it in before this quest basically interrupts your journey. So you're like forced to do it in your exploration.
Trapped up in the adventure. Yeah, I like it. Next quest.
Oh no. Is this Priest in Peril?
Yes! What other quest would you murder a dog, you know?
So that's a free-to-play quest?
Apparently so.
What cracks me up, so I'm having trouble remembering. No, actually, so what bothers me is that you no longer need this quest to get into Mauritania. You do need this quest to get into the Mortmere swamps. I found that out the hard way, trying to get Jess to go kill the Barrows. She physically could not get there until she did this quest because the dude wouldn't let her through the gate, and there was no other way. And so I found that I was like, I just assumed that they had removed the quest requirement entirely. They just shifted the goalpost for it a little bit.
Interesting.
But you can get into Canifis, and you can wander throughout the entirety of Mauritania except for the gated area that leads into Morton and
you can still get to Barrows. You don't have to go through that gated area. You can actually run down the side of the castle. That's how I used to do it before PVM Hub existed. That was my Barrows trips.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I was wondering about that. I was wondering if there was a way to get her there, but I was like, okay, look, the quest is like 10 minutes, just do it.
It doesn't really look like you should, because your character does kind of run along the top of a very, very steep wall. But it works.
It's like one square. Yeah, that makes sense. The problem also with this quest, I don't know if it's no longer canon, but I've heard through the grapevine that your character is supposed to be 12 years old at the time of doing this quest. So
what the hell?
Well, this quest...
I don't know. I don't know if that's still canon, but that's
as
what
in
I've
you're supposed
heard.
to, as in you're supposed to literally be there as a 12-year-old doing it,
Yes,
or that.
correct.
Oh.
Yep.
I don't.
And also, you kill an innocent dog, and they blame you on it, and then like,
Oh, dude, that entire quest is literally just you making every wrong choice.
Yeah,
It's great.
I put it at the bottom. You don't really need it.
It's the lack of relevance in it. It really pissed me off when Jagex removed this requirement on Mauritania, because this was during a time where they were removing requirements on everything. You no longer need a druidic ritual for Herbler. You no longer needed wolf whistle for summoning. You no longer needed rune mysteries for rune crafting. Actually, I don't think you ever actually needed that last one, but it was starting to piss me off, and so I just kind of this quest puts a bitter taste in my mouth. What? This is the first one's got me lost.
Why is Eddie laughing so hard? That's my question.
Because I haven't looked at these in like a couple of weeks, because obviously we've had to push this recording back, and I've forgotten half of them. I think what might give this one away is the shoes. Why might you need shoes in a quest?
Oh,
I want to automatically
Death
say
Plateau.
strong.
Yes, and who do you kill at the end of Death Plateau?
The map.
The map.
The map.
I'm gonna smack you.
I thought he was drawing on the map. I didn't think he was
you.
stabbing it.
Yeah, I thought he was drawing.
Sir.
My first instinct was to say treasure hunter, and then I was like, wait, that's not a quest.
That's not a quest. That's a way of life.
MTX. Gotcha games, gambling.
God.
Okay, hear me out. Death Plateau has a really cool cutscene at the end, and it's got voice acting.
I'll take your word for it. I haven't done it yet. I did it.
Oh, that's fair.
I did it on my main account when they first remade it.
Oh, yeah.
Because they allowed you to do that. They allowed you to replay it. A lot of the new quests that they had remade, they're like, okay, yeah, if you've already completed the quest, you can replay it, but it's not going to affect your quest cape, blah, blah, blah. But so it's been a while, and I do remember enjoying it. It's a solid quest. It's not a whole lot different from the original. C. I guess it's like the prime definition of a solid C quest.
This is a quest that I actually just did and recorded. Spoilers, but yeah, there's a cutscene at the end. They added voice acting to it, but overall, like, it's still a little bit of just a fetch quest. You go, you get her shoes, you get them spiked, climb through some rocks. There's not a whole lot there. Sure, a bit of lore implications, and you're introduced to like Berthorpe army things, but that's about it. So yeah,
none of that's also none of that's followed up on.
It doesn't really go anywhere,
like,
does it? Yeah.
Like Death Plateau feels like it really needs like a sequel.
We already talked about it. Druidic Ritual, it brought balance, and that's how it ends. You know.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Eddie.
They attack once a month for D&D, and that's it.
Wait, are we putting it in D or C?
I have put it in C. With,
C, yeah, we could do that.
Imp Catcher. So.
Okay, that's
this quest. This I feel like it's another A, maybe S. I love this quest. It is ugly as sin. There is no arguing that.
It looks terrible.
It looks awful, but the story is what makes up for it. It's a great plot, right? I don't know if you've done this quest recently. I did it.
It has been a while, but I remember it.
I did it in the Trailblazer League in old school. And so I'm still a little fresh on this quest. I haven't done it on Chronolocked yet. But there's a few reasons that I want to put this quest up there. For one, the story is amazing. It's little boy runs from home and gets swallowed up by the earth, right? Falls into the rift. or whatever the hell this is called, the hole in the ground, and it's like some anima source of some kind that feeds off of his emotions, and so his fear, his anger, his frustration, his guilt, all of that manifests itself as these creatures and rooms that you have to go through while you're trying to find this kid, because he's been down there for decades, and his mother has been hanging out at the top because she never stopped looking for him, and she's convinced he's down there, and so she sends you down there to go find him. And you do find him, and you have to fight him because he's completely given up on life. He's turned into a literal monster. He hates his parents for having never found him and damning him to this fate. And so you fight him, you beat him, and you reason with him. And he transforms back into what is now an old man. And he leaves with his parents. He forgives them, and he leaves. And it's an awesome standalone story. There's no continuation to this. There's barely any explanation why the fuck this place exists. But
Is there a rift
makes
in the ground?
Yeah, what is this place?
Sure.
It's really close to Sentistan, so I don't trust it. But it's just a solid story. And if it got a lithographical paint, it would easily be the best free to play quest you can do. Also, as a bonus, when you're playing this in old school, or if you were playing this quest in RS2, going into the rage room and using the anger weaponry and just hitting constant like 200s just felt really good. Is you just hit so hard.
Will admit,
totally high tier quest, at least.
I have some gripes with this quest. I wouldn't put it that high. I know, okay, the story's great. You're right. It's a very good standalone quest. Does it belong in RuneScape? It could. It's a great story. You can use it anywhere. It doesn't belong in RuneScape. There is no continuation of it. It's not a requirement for anything. There is no lore explanation for it. It's charming. It's a cute quest. It's got a good morals. It doesn't belong in RuneScape. Now, however, it does give you cool, customizable weapons that you can carry around. Like after.
And that's relatively new, so I can't help but wonder if maybe they've got some plans for this quest.
They might.
Because
it's still
again,
out.
It's really close to Sentistan. Its magical properties aren't very well explained.
You'd think they'd do something with it by now, though, with everything that's been happening with Sentistan.
I mean, maybe,
although that could be coming later.
That could be coming later. God, it could be. Remember, you did City of Sentistan recently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the vampire?
Yes.
Remember how the vampire says all these lines and how so far each line has relegated itself to a front? Well, for the fourth front,
I know what you're talking about.
It says black and red, red and black.
Red and black.
That's the entire color scheme of this fucking dungeon, the rift. So, I mean, while it's also most likely Full's front and probably going to have something to do with the Tokar, because let's face it, why wouldn't it? There might be more to it than that. And maybe this quest will find some relevance later. So maybe A tier. Maybe A, because it is hideous.
That's true.
And it is a very oddly standalone story in this game. But I mean, you'll come to realize there are quite a few of those, just not in free to play.
My other gripes with this quest, because I have two more. The boss fight at the end will definitely kill you. Although I guess it's not a gripe. It's another thing with Witch's House and whatnot. But that quest, I had to keep going back and back and back because I just could not finish the boss fight. And therefore, I don't know. Maybe that's part of why I'm biased against the quest, just because it killed me so many times. Friggin' PDM.
I don't remember having any difficulty with it, but again, this was playing. I was playing in Trailblazers and Old School, and I just remember ripping right through it. So there might have been a reason for it. I never played this quest in RS3. I beat it in RS2.
Oh, so RS3 could be a little bit different. And then the other thing in the quest is that once you get to the death room, where you have to like look into the voids and be like scared, it won't give it to you unless you like stay there forever and keep going around and around and around. You remember what I'm talking about? That one is a little bit, there's a couple gripes with it, so I don't want, I guess I am a little personally biased against it. I'm not going to put it super high, but I can see where you're coming from, because there are some good things about it, of several redeeming qualities. What do you think?
Maybe low A then.
I was either thinking low A or top of B. It's kind of it's somewhere in that region. Let's go with A because it is a nice self-contained story. There aren't many of them on here. Maybe it doesn't have that much relevance to the rest of the lore, but you can't help but like a good story now and again. So
yeah.
But Jagex, please give it paint or something.
Paint, yeah, please polish that.
It looks terrible. All right, next quest. What is this? What am I? Oh, is this? Oh, this is Wolf Whistle.
It is.
All right,
it's Wolf Whistle.
Because it's Bowl of Tricks is he's in a bowl. I just did this quest, so oh boy, this one's another fun, updated with voice acting quests. I am very biased for voice actor quests, of course. It's actually not too bad. I mean, there's summoning, and it's a little bit of a fetch quest. And I will give it credit because there's very, very clever dialogue for when you drop items. And you just have to keep going back. And it's a clever little quest. They have a lot of little nooks and crannies that people tend to miss.
I agree. It's a good quest. And I like the fact that because it was recently remade. I think 2012 they redid it or something because it was originally a 2008 quest.
2012 is recent. That's fair.
Everything past 2010 is recent in my brain.
That's fair.
But it was remade, and it has a lot of callbacks to the original version of the quest. Going upstairs in the druid's house and just finding this room absolutely torn to shreds because in the original quest there's a Wolpertinger in the upstairs that he summoned it, and he can't deal with it, and he needs your help to get rid of it.
Oh, that's funny.
And so you go up there, and it's shredded. The whole room's just messed up because he talks about how he accidentally summoned one of these things. So it changes because now you have to summon a Wolpertinger to deal with the trolls that are going to eat Bowl of Tricks. Right.
It's funny.
I'd B or A.
That's
B or A, honestly. Yeah. It's a good all around quest.
I was going to say it's
Go ahead, Eddie.
It's like Soul's Bane is kind of the complete non-RuneScape quest. This is probably the pure RuneScape quest. It fits all of those things, right?
Quest. It is, yeah. It's campy. It's dumb. It's hilarious.
It's silly.
I'm gonna go A, I think.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Okay.
All right. Next quest. What? Even Eddie doesn't know what it is.
Oh yes, I know what. Okay.
Yes, I remember.
Wait, no, that's Dragon Slayer.
So this is a mine. And who might this be in free to play that stands on top of a mountain?
Oh, the Oracle.
The Oracle?
Yeah.
Wait, which quest? Oh no, what's it called?
Is that a gnome in a parachute?
I believe so. It's someone in a parachute.
Throwing me off. That's what's throwing me off. Who's in a fucking parachute?
It is Perils of Ice Mountain.
Oh, Perils of Ice Mountain. Yeah, I saw the factory with the X on it, and it clicked right the last second.
What happens in this quest?
I don't remember anything about this quest.
I don't remember anything at all.
Craps, he just did it recently, and I wasn't paying attention. She was like, "Oh my god, it's a quest about global warming."
Shame, Kathaar.
Look, chronologue. I just gotta wait until he's ready to do it.
Not paying attention to the lore.
I've been playing this game for 16 years. There's some quest that I just did way too long ago. Okay. You bully. It's a quest about global warming.
Yeah, it doesn't really have like many other links from what I remember. I don't know if it's required for anything. It's
completely standalone. The whole thing is that this dwarf builds a factory right next to the mountain, and he's using baby dragons, chained up baby dragons that burn, they're like the fuel source. They just keep spitting fire. So there's like animal cruelty in there too. And it's affecting the ice fiends on the mountain. It's like it's global warming. And eventually when the quest is complete, all the dragons have been replaced with a giant windmill. Like if that says what that says about the quest. Honestly,
So,
if Soulsbane isn't a RuneScape quest, this is not a RuneScape quest. It's clever. It's kind of cute, but it ultimately doesn't really do anything, and I would definitely put it in D tier.
Now, to be fair,
not saying I'm anti-climate change or anything like that. It's just the quest itself is just odd and out of place.
I can agree to that. We do
no follow-up.
Go back to the Oracle sometime, don't we? There's something to do with the
Dragon
Oracle.
Slayer.
Yeah.
Is it Dragon Slayer? That's right.
Yeah.
And I think you go back one other time for some other members quest.
But Dragon Slayer you could have done before this quest, and probably a lot of people do.
This used to be a members quest, so.
Yeah, put it in D. Nah,
Okay, well, we're over halfway there.
Ooh,
Nice.
We're halfway there. Oh, this is the Witch's Groom, I think it's called. Or the one with the witch.
It's
No?
that's not its
Swept
name,
Away.
but Swept Away.
Swept
There you
Away.
go. There you go.
Okay.
Honestly, for a
Fine.
while, I thought this quest was a fever dream I had and didn't know it actually existed. Because I did this quest when it first came out, which was, during the Ice Age, and it was so over and done so quickly that I honestly thought I had imagined it. So this is like the only reason I wouldn't put it in D tier is because unlike Perils of Ice Mountain, it's more RuneScapey.
True.
It's got a few little puzzles, little doable puzzles and stuff. A little bit
And
of
you
fun.
do come back to those same witches later for other quests. So it's not like standalone.
This quest, Myths of the Whitelands, are both in this exact same spot for me, where it's like I'm pretty sure Myths of the Whitelands literally used to be a Christmas event that they turned into a quest, and it didn't need to happen.
Somewhere in C.
It really didn't. Somewhere in C. Yeah.
Middle C, yeah.
Well,
Myths of the White
strangely relevant. Yeah.
I don't like this quest. I want to put it at the bottom. I want to put it right at the bottom because the whole ice skating across a thing you really can't do without a guide.
That reminds me of Pokemon. Like Pokemon back in the day, there was a couple of gyms where you had to do that stuff. That's what it reminds me of. So that's why I don't mind that.
That didn't. But I can understand some people might have an issue with it because it's like, this requires a guide, and it didn't take me that long to figure out. But that's not my main problem with the quest. No. My main problem with the quest is my same problem with the last quest. Like it doesn't need to be here. They could delete it.
True.
Yeah,
and no one would care. Nothing would change at all. It's
not related to anything else. Whereas at least the last one, like you said, we go back to some of the characters.
Now, there is one thing. And that is that this place has a lore implication, I believe. It
does. The land. Oh,
it's the world that Guthix accidentally broke into pieces, and each segment is now a different season, and this is the snow season area.
So they say.
But that's it.
You don't see the others. By
the way, the only time we've ever been to that place was during holiday events. I remember there was a holiday event where you go to the fall region, I think.
Really?
And you talk to the Queen of Autumn. Actually, you meet all 4 queens, I think.
Really?
And you do stuff for them. Oh God, it's
never heard of this.
You can't get back there. You can't get back there. And I think it was like 2008 or 2009. It was definitely during RuneScape HD. And you get the crowns. You get crowns for all 4 seasons. I still have those.
Oh,
that's the only reason I know this actually happened.
I think you get given them now just by having an account. I'm pretty sure they auto unlock nowadays. Like the not pikes, what they call pitchforks.
The pitchforks and the what used to be the pendants that used to be you had to wear them to get bonus experience in that skill. You got them from Squeal of Fortune. What are they called? It's a Crown of Winter or something like that.
Yeah, Crown of Seasons is the. Anyway, next quest. That's going in D.
This is what is it called? It's with the cult in the Lumbridge catacombs.
Blood Pact.
Blood Pact, yes. Good quest.
Yeah.
Good quest. I think it's good. It introduces you to Xenia. It gets you in Lumbridge. I think, was there a time in the very early stages of this quest where, like, Xenia makes fun of your name? Or am I imagining that? Yeah,
I think so.
Because when I replayed it, I was fully expecting her to make fun of my name, and I was just like, she doesn't. That's weird. But, like, it introduces you to the combat triangle, gives you new weapons. It's a very good starter quest. And I think it has voice acting, doesn't it? Or doesn't? Not.
No, it does not. No, it does not.
But Xenia. And Alona, technically.
I would say, I'd say that at least C, but maybe, actually, I'd put it in B. It's a solid B quest.
I was thinking at least B.
I think so.
It gives you a full set of weapons to start out. I mean, they're outclassed almost immediately, but they used to last a little bit longer.
It gives you the aspect of choice, right? You can choose what kind of style you want to be. Do you want to be a ranger?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
it teaches you the basics of the combat triangle.
Yeah,
and
you can choose to kill or to spare the cultists too.
Oh, and it opens up the the catacombs.
Yeah, the best scavenging farming place in the entire game.
Great little dungeon.
Just stay at spiders.
Yeah, even for new players, it's a great little dungeon for them to go romp around in, collect all the statuettes or whatever, and sell them to Xenia for a decent chunk of change.
I think it's also the best place to get the symbol. The unblessed symbol or holy symbol. One of them. It's the best place to get a drop for them, because I remember on the Clue Only account I needed to go and get it blessed at the grave, so I had to go. I just like, no, I don't want to have to train my crafting up to make it. I'm gonna just try and find somewhere that drops it.
That's fair.
So,
and you get like Batwing armor from down there too.
I found
you can get the bat.
Oh,
I found it. It was the 2011 Easter event, and you in the land of Holly and Hawthorne, and you spoke to the Queen of Sunrise and the Queen of Snow.
Oh,
I'm actually starting to think that maybe.
See, that sounds more like a fever dream.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that maybe these actually aren't the same region. But apparently the event is split into two different quests.
Huh.
And I don't know if you can do them anymore. They might be
mini quests, although
mini quests at this point. One is free to play, and one isn't. But it's not. The wiki's being kind of funky about it and not actually just giving me the straight up name of the quest.
Huh. Now, hang on, Kathaar. Maybe you know a bit more about this. When I hear Queen of Snow and like Queen of Sunrise, I instantly think Queen of Ashes, who has popped up in Sliske's endgame and like more than once, which has some lore implication, but they've never done anything with it. Could there be more to that? That they've just either left, undeveloped, or it was supposed to happen. Do you know what I'm talking about? Queen of Ashes?
Yeah, maybe.
You mentioned like twice.
But I'm not sure if this queen is it.
Okay.
As looking through what we have, it could have been something they dropped. They just gave up on.
I believe that.
But it seems like her only role is that she was entrusted by Guthix to bring about the spring and summertime. So she's just the opposite function of the Queen of Snow.
Okay.
Anyway, next
isn't
up,
this love story?
Which is now called.
Yeah, this is
Romeo and Juliet. Has been replaced by Love Story, I think it's called.
No. Love Story is a different quest. It's
that's with the old man.
Wise Old Man and Xenevivia. This is oh god, I forgot the name.
I can't remember what this is called.
This quest gave us barbarian village lore that I didn't know we needed.
A teeny tiny bit, not like a whole lot, but some.
It elaborated on why this place is here. It gave the town a name, which is better than nothing.
Gunner's Ground.
That's
Gunner's Ground. But to be fair, you also get some of that lore from other Fremennik quests. You don't really need this quest for it.
The quest is called Gunner's Ground.
Oh, it is called Gunner's Ground.
It is called Gunner's Ground. Yeah.
I thought the quest name revolved around the dwarf.
Yeah, I know. Me
it's
too. Yeah.
No better than C. It's just kind of annoying quest. I mean, granted, so was Romeo and Juliet, but
it tries to be cute.
They tried really hard because they were. It was during a time where they were trying to get rid of quests that weren't RuneScape at all. And Romeo and Juliet is just literally Romeo and Juliet with some cheeky humor thrown in. And they were trying to get rid of stuff like that, which is wild because Merlin's Crystal still exists. But, you know, that's a little harder to get rid of.
King Arthur quest.
Yeah, but anyway, they replaced it and they were like, okay, well, we got to try and keep the love aspect. And I appreciate the effort that they took to try to keep it still somewhat Romeo and Juliet-y and find an opportunity to elaborate on some of the free-to-play areas that kind of just don't make sense, like Barbarian Village. So I'd say C, maybe low C still.
Yeah,
I don't care about this quest at all.
I guess comparing it to what else we've got in C, it sort of fits that kind of bill. It's not D.
Yeah.
Like, it's a step above D.
Bad about it. There's nothing bad
about it, but it doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't give you anything.
I mean, I guess, well,
the swanky boots that are pointless, they're actually pointless. I got them. I remember because this was another one of those quests where if you had done Romeo and Juliet, you could just do this quest if you wanted to for the rewards. You wouldn't get any quest points. I did it, and I got the swanky boots. I was like, what the hell is the point of these? And just immediately dropped them and completely forgot they existed.
I think I'm actually going to put it in D, just because it sort of does fit. We've got Restless Ghost in there, Priest in Peril in there. It's that sort of... It's kind of useful, but there's not really a point to it.
Yeah.
That's a good spot.
This is
my finest work.
It's a good quest.
S tier
instantly.
Sure.
This is a good quest.
It's got what is it
music,
called?
It's got
what is One Piercing Note, and I love this quest. I've had to do it on both of my YouTube series, and they were both great. Actually, no, wait, that's a lie. I haven't had to do it on Chronolocked yet, but I will, and I have no problem having to do it again.
Yep.
I did it on Desert Only super early into my series, and I loved this quest.
It's got music, it's got voice acting, it's got a good plot. Like you solve a mystery. Yep. Great.
Yeah, Jess and I actually had an idea, but it fell through because I have no fucking idea how to make it work, that we were going to sing the song.
Nice.
For this. We were going to duet it, but I can't get just the music without the lyrics in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not very good at editing out lyrics because I don't have a master track for this or anything, so... we kind of let it go, but it's such a good quest all around. Like it just the voice acting in it, it's like the first voice acted quest they did where the voice acting is solid. It's really good.
It's the first fully voice acted one. Right?
Yeah, it is.
It was one of the ones, and then they had
nailed it.
Character design for each of the nuns. They looked different. They're not just standalone. Oh, woman. Another woman, like they all looked different. It was a great quest.
Yeah, it's like a murder mystery, and you're trying to, a whodunit kind of quest, and it's obviously got a great twist to it that you may or may not see coming. But even if you did see it coming, by the end, you kind of feel for this killer because they've absolutely lost their shit. And it's just like, it doesn't matter if you knew it was going to be them to begin with. When you see the state they're in, you go, wow, that's fucked, Yep. And of course you can't save her. Thanks, Zautok. Is that what you meant? You can't save them?
Next quest. Before Kathaar spoils anything more.
Oh, shut up.
What is this?
Oh, let them eat pie!
Yeah!
Oh, it's cursed!
Oh!
Another masterclass in voice acting. That if a quest needs to give you, like, warnings... where it's like the audio you're about to hear may upset you. That is a solid A, maybe even S tier quest. And the quest itself isn't that bad. It's pretty much just a fetch quest. Go do this, but it
introduces thieving.
It introduces thieving, yes, but it's chock full of such shitty cheeky dialogue. Like your character is just like, my backpack will never be clean again. Like after you're doing like these terrible things to the ingredients that are gonna go in this pie. And then you go to bake the pie, and the chef nearly passes out. It's like, what have you done to my kitchen? Like, it's just, you ruin everybody's day in this quest, and I love it. It's just A tier. Nothing Jaxyys can say can change my mind unless she says S tier.
I was gonna agree.
Top of A tier is where I'm
top of the line A tier for sure.
It may not be the most impactful overall, but that's
also Nails Newton, a Chad, an absolute.
Oh my god, I love him. I
what
need
a
more
guy.
of him. I need more of him.
Yes, bring him back.
Does he help you found the Thieving Guild? Or
no, that is in London.
Missed opportunity right there.
Yeah.
Oh well. Yeah. We need more Nails.
This isn't Song from the Depths, is it?
It is Song from the Depths.
It is?
Eddie,
there are so many other ways to draw a Song from the Depths.
Yeah, but that's iconic, right?
That is iconic.
Leaping into QBD's
cool.
mouth, like
when the cutscene doesn't desync, this is a great cutscene.
Mm-hmm.
Props to that alone.
That's true. This is either high A or S tier. It is iconic. Introduces the Queen Black Dragon and by extension Dragonkin lore. You got the Raptor, you've got Relomia, and by extension Siren Arc lore. You've got music, you've got voice acting, you've got actual
Wedding Through the Willows.
Yes.
It's a great fucking song. The song lyrics elaborate on the plot too, so it adds to it. If you pay attention to the lyrics, it elaborates what's happening to these people.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a bitchin' quest, and it absolutely S tier for sure.
Sweet.
And the Raptor being
no
the
complaints
Raptor.
there.
No complaint from Eddie. Good.
No complaint at all. 10 out of 10.
All right.
I hate this quest.
This is one of the desert quests. Which one is it?
This is it's Stolen Hearts or Diamond in the Rough, one of the two. I forget, get the names mixed.
It is Stolen Hearts.
Stolen Hearts, because both of those are the Ozan quests.
And I hate them. And it's
hard to elaborate.
Because I hate them for the same reason. I hate them for the same reason that we like Rune Mysteries. It's fully voice acted. It really elaborates on a lot of things. And this is my own personal gripe. But my videos on these two quests are the least watched videos on my entire fucking channel. And it's because it drags on and on and on. And it's all voice acted, so I can't skip it. I can't ignore it. I can't crack jokes because my character stands there and just watches this all happen. Your character is not a part of this fucking plot. They are just along for the ride. They never contribute anything. You might hear them say something every once in a while. And so when you're trying to, like, with my series, I act through these quests. I give all the characters voices and I try to be cheeky and have fun with it. And, you know, Jaxyys does pretty much the same thing. But with this quest, you are just sitting there, silent, the whole fucking time, and you realize that your character doesn't need to be here at all. The only saving grace to this quest is the implications that it brings to further on the desert plot if that ever happens. If we ever actually get follow-up to Fight Club.
Please.
That's it. Like,
it just ends.
Fight
Club itself was a terrible quest.
We know what is in the Kariad Ib. And that's a massive, fundamentally huge implication, especially when you pair it with the lore that you get from the Magister, which I've narrated, by the way. If you know, shameless plug. But that's the only reason I know this stuff is because I narrated all this and it clicked. I said, oh my god, you know, like this means a lot for the Desert Pantheon if they ever decide to elaborate on it. C at least. It's a decent quest. I had my personal gripes with it, but C.
I'm sensing a lot of underlying frustration.
Oh my god, yes.
How does that make you feel? I want to take your word for it because honestly, I don't remember this quest at all, and that's probably for a good reason. Where Rune Memories and Rune Mysteries were solid. I do remember one. I mean, it introduces Ozan, which is important. It is the introductory quest to the desert quests, which again are unfinished, but are gravely important to the entire lore of RuneScape. So there are redeeming qualities, but it's,
Yeah. There's a lot of dialogue.
There's a lot of dialogue. The agility that takes quite a long time because you can't skip past things.
Also, why is that not just an agility course now? You can even go back and do it over and over if you want. Just give us experience for it, please. Fuck.
I guess that's the thing, isn't it? In old school, at least you have got rooftop agility, and it's a thing.
I know. It would have been an easy win for them. Like, just give us, 2-3 experience for each part, and then 600 at the end. Something, and make it a level 1 agility course. Gnome agility course dies, but who cares? It's already dead.
That's understandable, actually.
I'm debating between.
Fine with me?
Yeah, I'm debating between B and C, just because it does introduce a lot of stuff to do with the desert.
Yeah,
I
it's got a little puzzle at the end. If you look at the others, we've got Shield of Arav in there, which is a very simple quest, really. Looking back at it now, from where we started.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't argue against it being in B.
Is that a dog?
Is that my dog?
What?
Juna B. Oh, do you want out? Oh, my door's closed. She probably wants out of the room. Juna dog. Juna B. Do you want
dog content?
Dog content. Hold on. I'll pick her up.
Sorry. I saw a dog. I had to.
Thanks.
It's great. Come here. Now, can I do this with my headphones? Oh, she's running away. No. She knows I want to pick her up. Okay. Did my camera just freak out?
It's freezing.
Didn't let you move in.
It is.
There we go. You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, I need a better camera.
I gotta put it at the bottom of B. Let's go bottom of B for now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just because it's so terribly important, but it's not a great quest, though. Okay, what am I looking at? Oh, this is...
this? Oh, Doric's quest, right?
No.
That's not Doric's quest?
Well, what's it called?
I mean, you obviously...
Because that's the mini quest.
What's mine is yours.
Yeah. There you go.
Back in my day, it was just called Doric's quest, and we liked it. What to say? It's an improvement over Doric's quest, because just like Imp Catcher and Cook's Assistant, you can no longer just show up with the materials he's going to inevitably ask you for and finish the quest in 5 minutes. Finish the quest without moving. Talk to him, start the quest, talk to him again, finish the quest. Honestly, I'd probably put this as like a high C, maybe, or a mid C.
Should we put it next to Imp Catcher?
True.
Yeah, I put it right around Imp Catcher. That makes sense because it's about the same quality as Imp Catcher. They give it about the same treatment.
It gives you a lot of smithing experience too if you follow up with it.
Massive chunk. Yeah. This is the Doric's quest and the Knight's Sword are the two quests that you do practically back to back when you're starting a new account in old school. I don't know about now because this quest takes so much longer to do than it used to, but it was just like that's how you got your initial smithing levels and your initial mining levels.
It's a good place for it.
Yeah.
Yes!
Oh my god.
Yes! Yes, this quest.
I miss the simple days of dropping a cabbage in a cauldron and calling it a day. I'm just kidding. This quest
what is this quest called? This is the Death of Chivalry.
There you go. You got it.
S tier immediately. Saradomin lore, let's go. Zamorak lore, let's go. Sir Owen,
Saradomin,
let's go.
My only issue with this quest, actually, no, it's not really that much of an issue. I guess my only technical issue with this quest is that it's a 6th tier quest in a world of 6th age quests in a world of 5th age quests.
That's fair.
It's the only funky thing about it. because well, Missing Presumed Death at least was made on its own. This was a quest that was 5th age that they reworked into a 6th age quest, and it's like the only one that does that. Like, you know, Prince Ali Rescue was reworked into Stolen Hearts, and it stayed 5th age. Rune Mysteries was reworked, and it stayed 5th age. This quest was reworked, and it bumped into 6th age. Granted, RS3 was brand new. The 6th age had just come out. We were, you know, the Battle of Lumbridge had just ended, and so they were building on that hype. That's my only gripe with this quest, but I honestly would probably still leave it as a low S tier quest, because this is how you learn that Saradomin is not just the good god.
The good god.
It's not just good versus bad with the green guy in the middle. It's not that simple anymore. This man makes bad calls, and he can be selfish.
I will say, yes. That is one of the things about the quest, is that it could be argued that it might try a little too hard to make Saradomin the bad guy, where he's supposed to be kind of this morally gray character. He's got good intentions. He does do good things, but he's make mistakes in his past, and sometimes he's a little blind to, you know, consequences and things. I will say it can have the effect of making him seem a little too bad, but then you follow it up with newer things and. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. I would, and it looks like my camera has given up again. Anyway, I would agree, and you already said it for me, that later canon development seems to really solidify what Deathless Chivalry says about Saradomin as a person, and that is he has the best intentions, but he is very much an ends justify the means, and he makes mistakes.
Correct.
He will, you know, he went for the wand and immediately tried to rescue somebody, like without really thinking about. He was trying to do the right thing, but he wasn't really thinking about how that's not going to work, and it damned Sir Owen to his current existence.
To the ground.
Yep.
But you know, Owen's forgiven him for it. And Saradomin has moved past it, and he recognized that he has made that mistake, and he has never tried to make that mistake again. He tries to learn from it.
Yeah.
He's not a bad guy. He's just not the real.
He's misguided.
He's not Christian God who's infallible and all-knowing and all-seeing.
Sure.
As earlier depictions of him might have implied. But yeah. So
but the quest
I definitely.
I mean, the quest itself.
It also introduces centaurs, which, I mean, don't really have that much of a follow-up, but you can kind of see them in Everlight. And then, I mean, obviously Sir Owen, and the boss fight at the end. Actually not terrible. And then you can rewatch the cutscenes, which is always a plus.
And I think it's a boss fight that scales as well, so it's not like if you go in at 99, you're like OP.
No,
the entire quest scales with you. Now, granted, the scaling falls off. If you're maxed and you go in there, you're gonna ruin Dawn's shit, like no matter what. But it does scale a little bit. It's a solid quest. I remember you have to fight her over and over in the Dominion Tower when you're going for things. So I went up against her quite a few times, and she's not, you know, a total pushover, but she's relatively easy. But yeah, no, that was one of the first quests that they did that, where it's like, okay, we're gonna scale, you know, the creatures scale to your level, so it always feels like it's kind of a challenge. But also, we got 2 awesome sets of cosmetics from that. And the golden cabbage. I mean, they somehow they somehow shoved Brassica Prime into this quest.
Why not?
Why not? Well, it's a callback to the fact that you had to drop a cabbage into the cauldron in the original quest to foil the Black Knight's plans. But it's a good quest. It totally deserves where it's at. Next.
I will only say, before we move on, it should have had a sequel. We were robbed of Death of Chivalry 2.
It needs a sequel. And there's
just Owen standing there in the Archaeology Guild. Oh, we did the whole quest without you. We don't get to see no fight against undead centaurs. We don't get to work with Sir Owen again. We don't get to help them out in any way. We just did it over here. We'll tell you about it later.
Yeah,
I'm upset.
We got meanwhile, but they did they did say that Death of Chivalry 2 is not off the table. They said they had written the dialogue in such a way that if they decide to release Death of Chivalry 2, they can change his dialogue.
So and it still makes sense.
Yeah. Reminiscing about it with him instead of him just telling you what you missed.
Sure.
And there will probably be optional dialogue so that you can still do as an Edger's quest without having done Death of Chivalry 2.
It'll just do a check and see what you've done.
Yeah, the dialogue will change depending on whether you've done the quest or not, as is most quests in RuneScape do this. Anyway, what? Wanted?
S tier, missing presumed death. Missing presumed death. S tier automatically. Up there, let's go. It's the top of S tier. It's the greatest of free play quests. This is the quest. Eddie, I told you this. Kathaar, you probably know. This is the quest that got me into the lore in the first place. You go in, Sliska is like, welcome back, World Guardian. I'm like, I'm a what? They're like, the Stone of Jas. I'm like, a what? They're like, Sliska is going to take over the world. I'm like, who? You know, it gets you right into it. It's got voice acting. It's got music. It's got combat. It's got lore. It's got everything. It's great.
My only problem is, my only problem is that mentality is the exception, not the rule. That's
fair.
There's so many people who do that quest and have no fucking idea what's going on because it has no requirements. But that's an issue with Jaxy's quest design philosophy of the last few years overall, and not this quest specifically. So yes, it's a total S tier quest. It's brilliant. It's infinitely more brilliant when you have done all of the suggested quests beforehand. Because you have fought through the fucking you have clawed, kicking and screaming, fought your way through. You have dealt with Lucian. You have dealt with so much, and you come through, and now all of this pans out.
And you see so many characters
of everything that you've been fighting through.
Yeah.
And these gods that you finally get to see that you've only heard so much about. So it's a great quest. On its own, it's a solid quest with all the prerequisites. It's a master class. Great. It's definitely S tier.
I don't know if it should be free to play. I think is what you're saying. But it's a great quest.
It's enhanced so much by pay to play quests,
Yeah, Ritual of the Majorat and World Wakes are like just necessary for this quest to really stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot about this quest.
What am I looking at?
Oh, wait. Well, I forgot about this quest. It's not the one I was thinking of. This is Shadow over Ashdale, isn't it?
It is Shadow over Ashdale.
That's Agaroth. Attacking the boat. That's a giant squid attacking the boat.
I'm out. I don't look like a squid. That's a face. That is a full human face right there.
You know what I thought it was at first? And what I thought it was at first, I got confused because I was like, that's not a quest. I thought it was the spider in Death's bathtub. You know about that? It's an older Halloween event. You go to Death's house and he's having issues, and there's a spider who won't leave his bathtub. Giant spider just hanging out in his bathtub, and it won't leave. And it's a dumb quest. It's a grand time, though. It's a great time.
Fair enough. This is a good quest, though.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. I'm pretty sure when I set up my account, this was the tutorial quest.
This was, this used to be the tutorials, Ashdale.
This quest wasn't the tutorial.
Right.
But like Ashdale was, and I'm pretty sure it was like straight after. It was very close. I remember doing it.
Goodrick, the dwarf, the one-armed dwarf.
Because he was in Taverley at that point, and then they moved him over to Port Sarim.
Yeah, but excuse me. When you did the Ashdale tutorial, he almost immediately would suggest this quest to you. He'd be like, hey, so I've been hearing some things from Ashdale. We should go back and, check in on everybody. And this quest kicks off. So it's a little weird now, especially since Ashdale is like essentially not even not canon at this point almost. It's just, they've just completely done away with it.
Yeah.
This quest kind of sits in an oddball spot. I'd put it in a B tier.
Because on its own, it is a very good quest, but there's just nothing more really done with the area.
Unless Agaroth has ties to Zautok or something that we find out about later, which he might, with the Black Pearls. And that's that, right?
There's which quest? Which is the newest of the Pieces of Hate? You actually fight not Agaroth, but like a creature very much like it. It's the same boss battle mechanic, and therefore is probably connected to Ashdale. They could communicate that better. They could make that more clear. Is Ashdale necessary for that quest? Absolutely not. But I mean, it's just a tiny bit of connection. I would agree with B. It's still a good quest, and it's only
this would only go up higher if they did more with Ashdale.
Yeah.
If they go back and like reintroduce, make Ashdale canon in some way. Give us a reason to go to Ashdale for Shadow over Ashdale rather than finding out through the wiki that this quest exists, because why the fuck would you just talk to this random dwarf on the dock support serum with no context? If they, because they could rope Ashdale into the plot, especially if they are following up with Shadow Anima, Erebus, Voss, and Zautok after the Elder God Wars dungeon or during it or something. If they're actually going to do that, which is what I believe they're going to do, seems like the logical elevation of antagonists to me. Ashdale could have a massive place in it. It could be completely taken over by followers of Zautox, sea horrors, and those tentacly things.
Crassians?
What are they called? Yeah, the Crassians.
That are humans, but have been transformed, according to this quest anyway.
Yeah, we see a lot of them in, what is it, Elite Dungeons? The third one, I think?
Yeah, Elite Dungeons 3, you see a lot of the Crassians in there, and a lot of the horrors, too, because they're both tied to the same god that Cranon follows. Anyway, continuing.
Okay, yeah, no.
All right, solid B.
Oh, God. This is a great quest. You just did this on stream.
It's a broken home, isn't it?
It is broken home, yep.
All right, fair enough. My first thought was Draenor Manor, but we already did Ernest the Chicken. It doesn't quite look like the other ones that are in there, so that's... I have
the
some choice
surgeon
words.
ring at the bottom gives it away.
Okay, that's fair. It's got a little S. Okay, there are several things about this quest. There are just several things about this quest that I could talk for hours about. So it is a standalone quest, kind of. Like, you go in without any armor. It's like a mini horror game inside of RuneScape. So, like, you don't bring any items, you don't bring any of your armor. There's no combat, really. It's all just mystery and horror and running. And it's actually fairly good because it does scare you at times, especially with some of the, like, the screaming maid in the basement with the key frozen in her mouth. That part scarred me forever. And then it's replayable. I'll give it props for that. And then somehow it manages to tie in with Santistan lore, which I love, because Kathaar, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, it's been a minute since I've done this quest. You're going to have to refresh my memory.
So you go through the house, and then beneath the house is the asylum that you also have to go into. That is the Asylum of Santistan, because the book that you open is written by a Majorat named Nabor. And he is referenced in Kindred Spirits by Sliske, who goes into this asylum to talk to a sailor who talks about Zautok and your player character for the first time.
Oh, right!
Yep. It's all connected. It's all connected. There's that whole asylum underneath, and you have to go through the entire quest in order to find out.
Yeah, I mean, that alone makes it a really solid quest because it manages to be a standalone quest that stays solid to what is, it connects to everything else that's going on without having to be quest. Like a sequel or a series or anything like that. It is also just a brilliant homage to the original Resident Evil game, and I love it for that. It's a great homage to fixed camera horror, and it does a very unique thing that most, none of the other quests really do. Completely changes the mechanics of how you're playing.
Yep.
Yep. I like it.
And it's.
I guess I'm feeling A. I don't know if I
either
put it
high
all the
A
way
or
up in
S.
S.
Oh,
I mean, it also
S tier.
it also introduces like one of the best in slot rings in the game.
Yeah.
So it's like a meta quest. Like if you're a PVMer, you have done this quest. So yeah, A or S. I would actually put it on S.
Ooh.
I'd put it's so
S?
unique.
Okay.
I think so too.
It sits on S for the same reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it sits on S for the same reason that like One Piercing Note does, is that it is a very, very standout quest from the rest.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And it's fucking free to play, man. And it's so cool.
Yep. And you can replay it. It's great.
Yeah, that's another. I mean, you kind of have to, unless you.
Oh no! This is Beneath Cursed Tides.
Okay, who doesn't love a good?
Okay,
who doesn't love a good throwback quest? Like, his quest is literally just references to the original Tutorial Island. Has unique dialogue if your account was made during Tutorial Island. Just solid quest. I got nothing to say.
I think this quest rests on one of two extremes. Either you've done Tutorial Island and you're super nostalgic and you go through this like, oh, we're going through Tutorial Island again. They've got remixed music. It's a new plot. It's great. Or you don't have that nostalgia like myself. And it's just, why is this thing under here? This has no connection to the rest of the game.
You have no idea what's going on. Yeah, exactly. Disconnect.
That's the only issue, is that it rests entirely on nostalgia. So if you have that nostalgia, it's a great quest. If you don't, you're so confused.
That's more than fair. I would say that probably puts it around the B area.
Decent reward as well, like a nice monthly.
That's
wishing you'd get an ice die from the I see it. Wishing you'd get an ice die. The RNG. RNG.
I'll accept that.
No, Jess goes down there every month because it's a huge chunk of fishing and farming experience, and she can't be bothered to get it any other way.
Massive, yep.
So good. The Cower quest.
Yep.
It's the same thing as Beneath Cursed Tides, except for so the nostalgia. I think this quest succeeds in avoiding the problem you have with the previous quest.
Sure.
If you don't have any nostalgia for the game, this quest is still hilarious.
It's still so
because it just shatters the fourth wall. And again, this is another quest I had Jess do recently. Like forced her to do it.
Oh yeah.
And
great.
It was great. She was having a blast because she kind of understood what was going on. She understood what the quest was going for. And it's so good. I would put it either low A. If it has to be higher than Beneath Cursed Tides, purely because it's the same quest with better presentation.
Sure. I love how it has like Lucian in there and then Saros. Not Zaros, it's Saros. And the two Xanax, like the old designs, are bad mouthing
about the new one. Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, or the Gothics. I'm just an actor.
Oh Lord, a fanboy. We're talking about a World Guardian.
Yeah, especially because if you've already so Jess hadn't done any of the 6 age quests, right?
Sure, yeah.
Because she's not trying to do them in timeline order. She already understands where the plot's going or where it is currently versus where her character is. But she hadn't done any of the 6 age quests because she's putting them off. And she did this quest, and Guthix is your character's approach to Guthix is totally different if you haven't done The World Wakes during this quest. It's hilarious. Like, your character loses their mind, like, oh my god, I thought you were dead, I'm so happy to see you. Like, they're about to burst into tears. And he's like, oh no. A fanboy. And like, he still calls you that, but for totally different reasons if you haven't done those quests. It's just great. It's full of just cheeky shit like that, and it's brilliant. I love it for it.
A tier.
Yeah, it doesn't quite get up into S, but middle of A.
Yeah, middle A.
Because there's a lot of stuff that if you did it first, you're then going to uncover all these characters throughout the game and be like, oh, that's that person. And like you said, if you've already done all that stuff and grown with the game and then happen to go back to it, because it is a quest you can quite easily just run into. It's in the middle of like the rocket area. So you could come into it at any point and be like, why is there a cabbage with a party hat? What is going on here?
Yeah.
And obviously, it's a nice tribute to the Gower brothers as well, having them in the game.
Oh, yeah.
The Gower quest.
Oh! Violet is blue.
There you go.
I was gonna say, why are there giant bunny ears on a person? Eddie, we gotta work on your hair drawing skills. Violet is Blue is a great quest. Hands down.
It's adorable,
It's
hilarious. It's so cute. It's just such a feel-good quest. That's the whole. It's just its whole purpose is that it's just a feel-good quest surrounded by like existential crisis quests.
Exactly. Give the World Guardian a holiday is the quest. That should be the name.
S tier. I'd argue it's S tier, especially because you get a sequel to it. And it seems to be implying that your character is like playing like the uncle to this kid, the family friend who's so close to the family. You come in, she's always excited to see you. She jumps on you when she sees you, and you're watching her grow. You're watching her grow up and maybe become her own little adventurer. You know, like.
Do we think they both go in S or?
Yes.
I forgot the sequel was free to play, but absolutely
yes, it is. They should both.
Absolutely, they both go in there.
If nothing but for that one little cinematic clip in the second quest, when you come through the door, Violet runs at you and you lift her up into the
You
air.
lift her up, yes. Oh, I loved it.
Her.
I felt bad because I was like wearing full Serenic, and so I was like, I mean, my character's dressed for adventure, I guess, but I feel like I should have worn something more appropriate.
You're doing Violet is Blue too in full Serenics. Then you're here.
Yeah, it's what I was wearing the last time I had logged in, and I logged in just to do the quest.
Nice.
I logged in specifically for the quest.
All right, what is this?
Oh, the cheesecake quest. This is Chef's Assistant.
The cheesecake quest.
Put it in there with Cook's Assistant. I don't care.
Yeah, I ate the biscuits the first time. It was a disaster.
Yep.
Yeah.
I genuinely did this quest when it came out, and I don't remember what I did. I think I bought all the crap I needed ahead of time and just did it without even moving. I don't.
That's probably fair. I remember you had to like take his cheesecake to different chefs around, but they all said like, "Oh yeah, he's had us try it before. This isn't new. Just tell him it's fine."
Yeah, I remember that. It's like, why do I have to do this then? Like, why did you make me do this, Jaxyys? What is wrong with you?
F tier quest. Plus, no one eats cheesecake in the game anymore.
No, it's like I get what they were trying to do, but it doesn't fulfill its function at all. It doesn't give new players anything. It doesn't give old players anything. It's just a quest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bad.
Nope.
Bad. Put it in the bottom. Absolutely.
We don't talk about this quest. Nope. I'm not even going to say the name. Don't even say the name.
And last, but probably not least.
Last one?
Oh, A tier. It's another feel-good quest.
I
love it. Yeah.
You get cool cosmetics. Oh, what is it called? Oh God.
Heart Stealer.
Oh. Yay! There we go.
Is it called
Heart Stealer?
Yeah.
It is. Yes, it's called Heart Stealer. It's another feel good quest. I don't know if I would put it up there with Violet is Blue, but like it's okay.
I'd put it in A tier, and it's purely because I mean the whole sequence when you're talking to the Ilyanka, you're like mingling around in the party, getting ready to steal this gem first or steal this gem later. I don't know. It was just a great little quest, and then of course we've got LGBT representation. They're a lesbian couple. Did you not catch that?
I had no idea, Kathaar. Thanks for.
Well, now you do.
I am going to say, I think I want to put it in B tier just because I don't know if it's on par with like Demon Slayer and Wolf Whistle and Night Sword. You know what I'm saying?
Looking at the other quests we've got in there, yeah.
Yeah. Our
maybe, I don't
Are
know.
a little bit high. It's a good quest, I will say, but our standards have started to creep into a rhythm here. We can still like it's just not on par with some of the big
So
quests.
like A lot of the gameplay mechanics are kind of funny on it, and it was very short. It was very quickly put together. But I do like that the entire basement area is just like this Metal Gear Solid reference, including
it's an upgrade of Witch's house, isn't it? Like
it's an improvement of Witch's house. Yeah, it's like what Witch's house should be. But they probably shouldn't do it because it pissed me off because the quest would take 10 times longer. But yeah,
the other reason it B is because it doesn't have like worldwide lore implications either. It's another feel-good quest. It's B is fine.
I'm looking at what is an A right now, and it's like, okay, I mean,
you know,
Gertrude's Cat should probably be a little bit lower on the A tier than it ended up being. But like it doesn't compete with like Soulsbane, Wolf Whistle. I'm still not 100% sure why Knight's Sword ended up in A in hindsight.
Yeah, it's like it should be right at the end or down here.
I feel like now that we're looking at this, it's like there's no way Knight's Sword is better than Heartstealer. Come on.
We've come to the end, so we can now go through and look if there's anything we want to move around, and we will go through and see what the best quest is as well.
Oh, so, it's missing presumed death.
Is there anything? Is there anything immediately that stands out that either of you would like to move?
Let me look. I'm looking at your wonderful drawings, Eddie. They're
they're God tier. They deserve to be in their own little S+ tier, just the drawings themselves.
Get this guy a golden gnome for best new artist. Let's go. I think, it's not a bad lineup.
No.
All things considered.
No, never mind.
I would be tempted maybe to put Violet is Blue 2 to top of A.
You think so?
Yeah. I preferred the first one, I think, of the two. Because you got the little puzzles and stuff in it, whereas the second one is kind of running around and sort of clicking on things.
The second one's kind of running around, but I think they really
it's like it's
the second
super
one
feel good, but
yeah, the second one really lays into like the growing bond between the World Guardian and Violet.
That's true.
Which I like because we haven't had anything like that for a character in a long time. Besides, the closest thing we had was like the platonic, maybe kind of sexual relationship we developed with Zanuck.
You could say romantic. That would be fine.
Yeah, no, I didn't have to. You're right. It would have cost me nothing. But it's like a pseudo romance, kind of just like honestly, you're just really fucking good friends with Zanuck by the end. And we haven't really had anything like that since. If anything, Zanuck has just kind of developed a very bad taste in everybody's mouth. But yeah, no, and we haven't had like a really strong bond with any character since Zanuck, and Violet is kind of like is that same thing.
That's true.
Obviously not in a romantic sense, but just in this like, you are my child.
That's fair.
Love you.
Yes.
In that kind of way.
It does make me think it could be argued that that's one of the reasons it's an A tier for now, because that bond hasn't.
It's only started to develop.
It's only started to develop, and it's still a little standalone, kind of out of the way of the main lore for right now. If they ever connect it to everything that's actually going on Gielinor, and it's starts to have more implications, then we might be tempted to bump it up to S tier. But right now, I think Eddie, you're right. Maybe like A++++. Like
it's
almost.
It's quite fun how we've got one winter quest in S and one in D.
Wow. I mean, it's a prime example of how to do the White Lands right and how to do the White Lands wrong. Because that's what I was just going to say. Is fun fact, they take place in the same area. They take place on the same realm. They're both on that, whatever the hell the name of that realm is, that Guthix shattered into 4 pieces by accident.
Violet is Blue 1. Doesn't it have a book that you can read that has lore implications too? About the room?
I might not have read it. It's been a minute. Okay, look, I've only recently lore books.
You didn't
I've always been
read
bad about.
the book.
lore books, I've always been bad about up until recently. Now I kind of read through them all because I'm always looking for new ones to narrate, right?
That's fair. Yeah, content.
And there is also an ass ton of implication that I've missed in a lot of these books.
True.
Like I didn't realize Zautok had been referenced for so damn long in this game, but it's all in books. So,
yeah,
you know, that's kind of cool. But yeah, so if there was a lore book for the first Violet is Blue, I might have missed it.
I'm pretty sure it was like just laying on the ground somewhere. It's not that hard to
skip over.
I mean, I probably picked it up.
Fair enough.
And then opened it and closed it because that counts as reading it, and then didn't think about it again.
Okay. Fine. All right. I think everything else.
Pretty solid.
I'd say for the most part we did pretty solid. You know, that damn slime quest is D tier.
Oh.
What cracks me up is Jess loved that quest.
Really?
She loved it because of the pet you get in the end. She loved that slime pet to death.
Get one in Yak track. You don't need to do the quest.
She showed up before that track. Or she started playing after that track, but she loved that little slime. She now has better pets, but it was just she's just like I love this pet. It's just, she would die for that pet. But and the quest itself it's really dumb, but it's kind of funny.
It tries.
It was.
Yeah,
I think it was.
It will not leave the spot it's in. It is by far the worst free-to-play quest in the game, hands down, no cap.
The thing is, it was the developer's first piece of work, like in the engine. It was like almost a tutorial quest for them in terms of getting to use it. So that may explain
why it works in the odd way it does. But I mean, like, it's still worse than Monkey Madness, and that was done by an intern.
I don't like Monkey Madness.
No one likes Monkey Madness.
That is fair.
I am dreading to think how long it would take if we ever do a pay-to-play version of this, because this was 40 quests, and this has taken nearly 2 hours.
2 hours.
Hey, dude, people love watching that 6-hour-long content. People just talking about things. Like, I've done it. I've done it. I've sat. Yeah, no, I've sat and watched 2 content creators talk for 6 hours about every bad perk in Dead by Daylight and what they would do to change it, and I was enthralled.
All right.
Okay,
so yeah, I enjoyed this.
Before we wrap up, shall we go through the S tier quests and see if we can get them in some kind of order for what the actual top one is? So
best.
The best of the best.
You're gonna break.
Well,
so let's compare the first 2. Which of those 2 would you go for? So we got Rune Mysteries is the first one, yeah, and Dragon Slayer.
I am more biased towards Rune Mysteries.
I would allow that. Dragon Slayer is definitely an S tier quest, but it does not need to be the top of the line.
It's true. It does, again, it hinges a lot on nostalgia, whereas Rune Mysteries has held up a lot.
Yeah,
it
shows its age a bit.
It was the culmination of all things free to play. When you beat Dragon Slayer, you were king of the mountain.
Time for members.
Time for members. You were hot shit if you had beaten Dragon Slayer. So
I feel like I know what's coming, but am I right with this?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. The problem, one piercing note and Rune Mysteries are very similar in that they introduce new music and voice acting and new character designs. That's what I appreciate about those 2 quests, is that all the wizards have been like updated and now they all look different, and then all the nuns and the I was gonna say Citadel Abbey have been redone. Anyway, we can continue. They're both good.
Song from the Depths.
I'd actually say Song from the Depths is fine where it is.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But Dragon Slayer probably still needs to continue to go lower, but that'll happen over time. So I would say that works.
Just like that.
Yep.
Death of Chivalry.
Number 3.
That's what I was thinking. I was.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's almost unfair for the 6th age quest, Death of Chivalry, because there's so much better.
Well, I don't know if you guys noticed that as we were going, it seemed like we started off, we had a ton in C and D tier, and it started to level out, and we're like almost exactly even. Like, look, we're one off.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, missing presumed death.
At the top. Put it in first place.
Second. Put it in second. I would put it in second.
I'll agree to that. Underneath,
I would put it in second just because if one piercing note remains in first place, it is just the culmination of a perfect quest. There is nothing wrong with that quest at all. I mean, they thought it was such a brilliant quest, they put it on the Alexa. Like, it is, they frequently use it as like their marketing quest for free to play. Like, you know, come play RuneScape, and they always show off this quest when they do it. So I'd say, it's got a missing presumed death 2.
Fun thing.
I have to agree that the only downside that puts missing presumed death in place 2 is because it is a free-to-play quest when it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You can get easily confused.
It's just too many concepts and people being introduced in one go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you check on the RuneScape website and go to like the beginner's guide part, it's got a few free-to-play quests, but then under missing presumed death, it says it's a members quest still.
Oh, really?
Wild.
I'm not sure quite what they've done there, but
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Broken Home.
Ooh, it is good. I don't know if because it's a standalone quest. It's basically its own little mini game. I don't know if it should be terribly high with all the quests that actually have
that are above it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, it's sort of linked, but it is that very minor little link.
And you really have to look. Like, you have to read so many books to find out that link. I think it's good, and it's an S tier. I think it's fine where it is.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think it's in a good spot.
Yep.
Now, Violet is blue. I'm not seeing it move up a huge amount, if at all.
Probably not. That way, if it's at the end of S tier, it can be right above its sequel. Violet.
Yeah. Yeah,
like, so that's pretty much what it is. It's just slightly better than its sequel.
Mm-hmm. I think that's fine.
I think we're fairly happy with that.
I think S tier is I think S tier is locked in.
Done.
We did it.
We did it.
Hey, we did. We made it through. Laps all around.
Holy cow!
Great.
How long is it?
Okay.
Okay. Well, if you two would be down for at some point doing the rest of the quests, I don't know if I'm going to have a window big enough to fit all 200 quests on the tier. So it could
be by quest series. So like, you know, Vire quests or like Dragonkin quests and Majorat quests. Gnomes.
Gnomes would be D tier.
Gnomes. It's not finished. But
that's why it's D tier. It's not finished, and they're never gonna finish it.
But if you two would be down at some point, we can definitely try that.
We can try something. Yeah, I'm totally down to come back and do more tier lists. These are always fun.
If anyone has stuck around till this part, I suppose they probably already know who you two are. But if you would like to plug yourselves again, feel free.
Okay. Again, my name is Jaxyys with 1 X and 2 Ys. Don't believe what Jagex puts in their news posts. It is not 2 X's and 1 Y.
Oh, did they do that?
They did. They misspelled my name.
Oh my god.
Okay. Carrie, I love you. Mod Carrie.
Mod Carrie's a blessing.
Anyway.
Must be protected at all costs.
YouTube, C/Jaxyys, Twitch, Jaxyys_TV, Twitter _TV, and I have a Discord. You'll find it in one of those links. Huge lore hound. I do a lot of also narrating and books, and just general lore hound things and story mode series.
Kathaar.
Awesome.
You may go.
She's got good stuff. Watch it.
What is this?
There you go.
And then there's this guy.
This guy with the long hair.
The YouTuber who really let himself go. What did I say earlier before we started? Watch Mojo's top 10 list for YouTubers that let themselves go. Yeah. If you made it this far, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe to Eddie if you haven't already. Follow his links. Join his Discord. do all the things. My name
Discord.
is Mr. Kathaar. You can find me on YouTube as Mr. Kathaar. I do a series where I lock myself in the desert and go insane, and I do another series where I play all of RuneScape's quests in chronological order. You can find all my social stuff on my YouTube channel, Mr. Kathaar.
Or in the
YouTube.
description
you can find
down
everything
below.
else there,
Don't
or in the
worry.
description in this video, I assume. Yeah.
Don't worry, you'll be down there.
But yeah, thank you again, and
yeah,
subscribe to this guy.
Thanks for watching. Until next time, when it's 10 hours long. Goodbye.
Yeah.